Yes.
Did you get time to go to your favorite merchant and get me my Christmas gift?
Ooh, I can't divulge that, unfortunately. But I'm working on it. How's that?
I'll tell you this. I thought
Okay.
about it.
Well, thinking can get you in trouble, Teddy. I hope.
How you doing, buddy? It's been a long weekend.
Whew. Yeah, it has. It's good to be back. Happy Monday to you, my friend. And I see you've got your corporate logoed shirt on there today. So the budget is flourishing, and I'm happy to see that. Yeah.
Actually, my wife bought this for me as a birthday present earlier this year. So,
hey, Randy Wooden. Randy Wooden with Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina. We help professionals at the Professional Center here to do a better job of the job hunt. And I'm coming to you from not my palatial estate today, as you can see, based on the light coming through the blinds right there and the glare on my head. I'm in my office today. And so we're happy to join you today. It's another week, another work week, and another busy week for a lot of folks. But before we dive into today's show and talking about tips and stories and our guest on Wednesday, let's figure out who this other guy is with that corporate logoed shirt on, the high dollar guy right there. You.
Yeah, I get it, man. Hey, so those who don't know me, I'm Teddy. It says right there on the screen, and I work for a company called Burriss Consulting, where we're both LinkedIn strategists teaching LinkedIn as business tools. And we're also starting a new division in 2022, teaching Google Workspace and Gmail as business tools. Really excited about that growth of the business. A lot of people want to understand how to use LinkedIn, and a lot of people want to understand how to use Google as a business tool. So everybody out, besides the business that makes all that great freaking money that feeds my $83 million portfolio that's in my mind. Every week, Randy and I get together a couple times a week, and we play around and joke and have fun, but we bring conversations and ideas to you. So on Monday, today, we're going to share some stories, some tips, and then we'll tell you about our special guest this week. So Randy, do you got a story, buddy?
Yeah, I'll make one up. But before I dive into that, Teddy, that Christmas tree behind you, I think it nees a little work. Yeah.
Do you think it needs a little loving?
A little loving.
I water it every morning, dude.
I hope it's not plugged in, because I see a cord there. But
I could. Maybe I'll plug it in one day.
Well, and I've been involved with Leadership Winston for, I don't know, for the last couple, 3-4 months. And every month we get together for a full day as a group. And a couple of weeks back, it was Government Day. And so we got a chance to step into the county building to see where the commissioners meet. We got a chance to help advocate for certain budget items. We also got to hear from the sheriff, from the chief of police, also the fire chief, the head of EMS, and a whole host of others, talking about some of the challenges that are faced. And while you and I, as an individual, I don't think, we're out here to, we're not going to be able to change the world. I guess part of the message that was delivered was impact those who you can. And it's a one life at a time. We see violence in schools and on the streets, and there are a lot of reasons and rationales for why those things happen. And again, it's not that we're going to wave a wand over it, but it was very interesting to get kind of a behind the scenes. We also heard from the city manager and the county manager about how government operates. And we pay taxes, and then we sit back and vote, hopefully, and then complain. And that's let's face it, there's a lot of people do, and it's easy to do, but to really get an understanding of how things work, it's very interesting. And again, there's not time to go into all of what I experienced that day, but it was very eye-opening, let's just say that, to see what goes on behind the scenes, and just very enlightening. So if somebody has an opportunity to get with leadership, and by the way, we're going to have their executive director on in 2022, so we can learn more about leadership. But it's a really cool organization, and I'm glad that I'm part of it. So there's that. There you go.
Hey, I'm with you, buddy. Every time I see the sheriff, I'm as polite to him as I can possibly be. I mean, I try hard to be very friendly. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, but. Hey, let me share my story.
Yeah.
So I went to a middle school holiday concert, and this was out in rural Davie County, North Carolina. And it was 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th graders. And I go every year because I've got a large group of grandkids. So I go every year to see, well, probably for the last 4 or 5 years, I go to it. And I have one grandson who is now in 8th grade. And I remember going when he was in 6th grade. And you go to these concerts and you listen to these kids play. 6th graders played by themselves, and then the 7th, then the 8th, and they put them all together with the 9th graders. Actually, no, not 9th, 6, 7, and 8. And they put them all together.
Right.
You listen to 6th graders play, and you're trying really hard to smile.
You smile.
They're just getting started, man. They're just getting started.
Yep.
But you applaud the fact that they are not afraid to be out there.
Yeah.
And the same thing for the 7th graders, but you know what? It's a little bit better. And then you listen to the 9th graders and it's a little bit better. Excuse me, the 8th graders. And then they put them all together and it's a totally different tune. But here's what's really why I'm sharing this story with you. 6th graders are okay. 7th graders are a little bit better. 8th graders are a little bit better. And actually, in many respects, pretty dang good for middle schoolers. And that reminded me of this. The more you practice doing anything, the better you're going to get at it. I don't care what it is. And if you're in career search, you better be practicing interviewing and conversations and networking. If you're in business, you better be practicing interviewing and conversations. Interviewing might be a different style of interviewing. Anything you want out of life, if you're not willing to practice it over and over and over again, you're just not going to get good at it. And we've heard all those tales of, Walt Whitman or whatever that guy's name, the tall basketball Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah.
He said, I've taken 10,000 shots, and I've gotten better at it. And we hear those, but when you see it happening in real life, it has a whole lot more meaning. And so that's my story. My story is watch what's going on around you, watch those who are getting better. And I can almost guarantee you it's because they're practicing. So,
yeah. And just to piggyback on that, it's practicing good habits. We can sometimes get into ruts. I played the saxophone, the alto sax, started in, 5th or 6th grade. And I still have it, by the way. It's in my east wing of the palatial estate. And then I have it. It's all cleaned up and everything. And I lent it to my sons for him to play back when he was in school. But but you need to practice and practice with purpose and get some kind of guidance and sort of like, what do they call it? Sharpening the saw. Is that another way to look at it? But do it with purpose. Yeah. Hey, we've got a really cool guest coming up on Wednesday. Juan Abreu. I don't think you've met Juan. I've gotten to know him. He's helped Goodwill on several occasions back when we used to meet in person and have mock interviews and panel discussions and such. Very sharp dude. He works for a company I'm not going to name today, but let's just say they are utility based and they provide your television and internet and maybe your phone service if you're here in the Triad.
With no contracts.
But he's an in-house recruiter for these folks, and it's a high volume, as you might expect, big company. So he is in a high volume, fast-paced environment. And so what is life like for a recruiter in that role? And you as a job hunter, or somebody may be interested in joining that company, what are things you need to do or practice doing to become more marketable for someone in that role? Because they don't have a ton of time to sift through every single application. So how is it you're going to stand out? So he'll be able to offer some guidance on that. Juan Abreu, it'll be on Wednesday. It's coming up the 22nd, 11:55 is our behind the scenes. And he's also into some cool stuff, Teddy, just real quick. And I'm sure, or I hope he'll talk about it. And it gets into the high end computer forensics kind of stuff. And that's sort of a passion of his. And whether he goes down that path at some point, I don't know, but it's a passion of his. And I think we've all known somebody who's been hacked or had their something stolen or whatever. And so I hope we can get some of his insight on that industry as well, and what companies are doing, including his employer, to help keep things safe.
Yeah.
So
real cool, real cool. Yeah, I did some research on Juan. I'm looking forward to hearing his conversation. I think it's going to be another one of the, what I refer to as this grassroots conversations about, job search. So good stuff. All right, dude. So what's your tip? And I got a note that says the three letters that represents your tip, and I'm a little worried about it, but let's go ahead and have your tip.
Well, as we've been talking, the sun has been moving through. You can see it's like a sundial. It just kind of goes like that's right on my nose. But anyway, all right. So last week we had Robin Rishwain on here. She talked about transferable skills, demonstrating transferable value. And I'll give you the three letters. It's STD. STDs.
That's what I read, man.
Yeah, STDs. So no, I'm not going to go there. That's not the STDs I'm talking about. But if you're in an interview and the employer says to you, so Teddy, what are your strengths or what are you good at? If all you come back with is the strength, meaning I'm dependable or I'm a team player, whatever. If all you say is that, the word, and don't back it up with anything, what you're doing is, you're selling yourself short. But what'll happen is the employer will probably say, give me an example of that. And so STD is a way for you to, in a fun way, think, hey, okay, I've got a 3-part answer to give here. The S is the strength or the skill. The T is the title and company where you exhibited that skill or strength. And the D is to describe it. So if you say, I'm very dependable. Well, for example, when I was the blah, blah, blah at company X, and then you give the example of dependability. Maybe, you covered other shifts or you always offered to take on additional duties, that kind of a thing. So STD is a great structure for you to remember how to answer the question about what are your skills and ultimately, what's in it for the employer. So show that you can add value. And that's why I appreciate Robin being on. And I think Juan will back us up on that too. When he asks those questions, he likes to get that example. So why not give it to him without having to be prompted?
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. I kind of figured that's where you were going with that. I knew
you hope that's where I was going. You
know that our producers do not allow us to talk about certain things, man. So, all right, here's my career tip. Don't make big mistakes on LinkedIn. I mean, that's my primary business is teaching LinkedIn as a business tool. And, I teach it to job seekers as well. And I see over and over and over again, huge mistakes. And I'm like, sometimes I weep quietly. I've never wept publicly about someone making a mistake.
That's wept. That's wept.
Or I've never wept publicly either, buddy. Don't you tell our grammar Nazi about that, So, but don't make a big mistake. Here's a mistake I saw earlier today. A guy calls me up and wants to have a conversation about something. I'm looking at his LinkedIn profile. We're talking. I said, by the way, your email address is wrong on your LinkedIn profile. He goes, oh yeah, I haven't been on my LinkedIn in 2 years. And I said, why? And so while we were talking, I helped him get on his LinkedIn profile, and he saw 50 to 60 invites that he had missed in a couple years. And not a lot, but it's still, he looked at these people, and there were 2 or 3 of them in there who had sent him an invite to connect, who were his target audience, their potential clients.
Wow.
And he wept almost publicly. Did you get that one better? When he said, oh my God, I wanted to talk with that guy a year ago. Don't make dumb mistakes. If you are using LinkedIn, don't ignore it. To not be on it in 2 years could create a huge missed opportunities for you. Don't be that guy. He's weeping quietly in the corner right now because he's got to go tell his boss he missed out on an opportunity because he didn't get on LinkedIn. Don't be.
Yeah. It's a big world, and you and I live, you more so than I do, live on LinkedIn. I mean, we're there, we're up to date with it. And we kind of wonder, why aren't other people the same? Or, especially if they're in business development.
Yeah.
But even that, job hunters, the same thing. I have a LinkedIn, but I forgot my password. It's been 3 years. And now that I'm in a job hunt, I need to jump on this thing. So whether you're in business development, job hunting, Teddy's the guy to talk to. I'm the guy to talk to. But, what's that old movie? Was the Jackie Gleason? Was it The Hustler? And
wait. Are you the hustler or me?
No, you're the hustler.
Yeah.
No, wait, I forget. Anyway, it's where one of them says to the other guy, says, I taught you everything you know, but not everything I know.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what I tell people. I said, I can get you 90% of the way there, but if you need the main guy, is Burriss over here with 2 R's and 2 S's, and he'll get you straight on LinkedIn at a greater depth than I can. I can help you, but Teddy and I, between the two of us, if we don't know it, you don't need to know it. So, hey, again, Juan Abreu coming up on Wednesday, the 22nd. Join us 11:55 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to find out what life is like as an in-house, high-volume recruiter for a major employer here in the Triad. So we hope you'll join us. Teddy, you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you on Wednesday.
All right, buddy. Be good. Bye.